Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Daniel McClure is suing Elizabeth Liz Henderson in the amount of $9,600. Mr. McClure claims Ms. Henderson had someone cover her lease, but that person moved out after only 2 weeks of living in the apartment. Mr. McClure feels the defendant should pay the remaining balance of the lease. Ms. Henderson claims the plaintiff was a peeping Tom and the new tenant didn't feel comfortable.
In the matter of Daniel McClure versus Elizabeth Henderson, Mr. McClure, you're suing for defamation, alleging that your former tenant has made some bad claims about you on social media, and as a result is ruining your business and your ability to rent your apartment. The defendant is claiming that everything I said about it, whole truth, nothing but the truth. What do you have to say?
I'm the owner of a brownstone apartment building in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I've had it for about a year, and in that time I've been renovating it, and I've just been able to rent it out to Liz. I put an ad on posting on the internet, and Liz responded. We met and got to talk, and she seemed like a good tenant, and we came to agreement of $1,200 a month for a year's lease for a furnished one-bedroom apartment on the ground floor. I live in the basement unit. I'm retired, so I'm there all the time. And I noticed after I don't know, a month or so, Miss Henderson started having parties that ran into the late at night.
Is it just the 2 apartments?
No, it's 8.
Oh, thank you. All right, continue.
I would stop by because I clean up the place. I just happen to pop in and say hi to her when I see her home, and I noticed that the trash was piling up and the recyclings were piling up, and so I just mentioned to her.
In her apartment?
Yes, because I could see that from the bay window. Her kitchen area is accessible from the bay window outside. That I'm concerned about vermin such as mice and roaches and things like that. Coming into the building if we don't take care of the trash and keep it, a clean apartment. And she said she would. So at that point...
How'd you get inside? She let you in?
Yes.
I never let him in. He would constantly let himself in without my permission.
Never let him in. You know that word?
Yes, I never let him in.
Really?
That's not true, Your Honor.
So when he let himself in without prior notice, were you home or not home?
I was not home.
And how would you know that he had been there?
Because he would leave Post-its on my fridge saying that he had kindly taken out the trash and the recycling.
How do you know she wasn't taking it out on a regular basis unless you're looking?
You could see it when you walk by. The window was there, the kitchen was there, and the trash was piled up on the counter. If I could submit the evidence.
Let me see. So why couldn't you give her notice to clean up her trash?
I did. I asked her.
In writing?
No, verbally.
Okay. Well, what I see, it appears to be a trash bin. Okay, what other occasion did he go into your apartment, and what happened?
Just there was lots of lurking and him peeping around, constantly peeping through the bay window. Bay window, yeah, to see what was going on. I would have some friends over on occasion, and he was just constantly trying to interact and talk to people. Was very nosy, up in my business all the time. Was always there. Whereas prior landlords I've had, it's very hard to get a hold of them, but he was constantly around and constantly there.
Now, this bay window didn't have a curtain or anything?
No.
And you didn't decide to put one knowing that he was constantly peeking through a shade or something to prevent that?
I should have.
Why are you always peeking through that window?
I'm not peeping, Your Honor. Like I said, I'm retired. The unit, the apartment,
and
the building is mine. No, I try to keep up on it because I don't pay for people to take care of it. I don't have...
I understand, but do you understand that when people live in your apartment, that they can let trash pile up if they want, and you can't go in there and take it out?
Well, it's a concern for me because it'll
I
damage
understand
the
it's a
building
concern for you, but do you know that as a landlord, you're required to give notice before you enter your tenant's apartment?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And only then shall you enter, and then only for the purposes of making repairs or doing something to the apartment, not just for examining and checking it out?
I wasn't examining and checking it out. I removed her trash, is what I did.
There is no rule that I am aware of that allows a landlord to go into the tenant's property to remove trash.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
He would walk me back to the apartment, and I would start scrounging for my keys, and then he'd already have the key out, ready to go.
And later,
I fined a $1,000 fine for parking my truck in a public street.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Keith Chadwick, who is suing Charlotte Dunn for breach of contract.
When did you discover the mistake?
We discovered it 5 or 6 days later. Like I said, we have a small office. We're a small
And you had a lot of
nonprofit.
silent auction things?
We had a lot of stuff to go through, and the moment we found it out, we called him on Friday afternoon.
So that day you were going through to see all of the winners, and so you could send them out their packages and get everything to them?
Yes.
Because
as
you didn't
well
give
as
it to them
make
right then, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you called him and told him,
We called
and you
him and told
refunded
him.
his $400.
Yep, immediately we put it directly into his bank account. He has been refunded, but like he said, I believe he jumped the gun. The day later, he bought the airfare to Dubai. I am surprised that he did it so soon and without knowing the exact dates, because it did say that it was for the opening of that specific hotel, but...
He said he called a hotel to find out the dates of the opening, but even if it's for the opening of the hotel, you have to have availability, right? Or
Yeah.
did the ticket clearly say that if you want this package, it could be used for the grand opening celebration?
It said it could be used for the grand opening.
Okay, so once he called and found out the date of the grand opening celebration, then he's cleared himself that I can use this ticket.
That is true, but I would like to argue that he did make he paid for the ticket the day later, and normally when people win such a large trip from the silent auction, they'll normally come back to us a few days later. We'll talk over the details. We'll make sure everything's in place before they make such a big investment.
But you didn't give him that ticket then either, right? You didn't give him the hotel voucher that day, right?
We did, actually.
Oh, okay. So he had the hotel voucher in his hand.
Well, he had the bid.
He had the bid in his hand, but not the actual voucher.
Sorry, yes, not the actual voucher.
Okay.
Your Honor?
Yes.
The reason that I didn't proceed to make reservations is I just wanted to confirm with the hotel that the dates was going to be happening, and this was going to be going on. And she indicated that I jumped the gun.
But did the ticket say that it was redeemable for any day, or that it was redeemable for the grand opening celebration?
I booked the flight based on the date of the grand opening. I thought I had plenty of time to book the reservation, considering that I wasn't going to be taking this trip until months in advance, until the quarter was over and I was done with my
I got
work,
that, but I'm trying to
goals.
find out if on the bid and the ticket that you received for the hotel voucher, did it say it's redeemable for the grand opening celebration weekend?
Yes.
Wow. You haven't made a reservation yet to go. The airline will allow you to change the ticket to some other time. So, what if she pays the change in the airfare when you have to change the ticket? You're going to have to pay a change fee, and you can go to Dubai some other time.
Okay.
Or you can go somewhere else. Here's what I can do. You've paid $1,200 for an airline ticket. You can't afford to go to Dubai and pay your own hotel fare, but you can afford to go somewhere on a $1,200 airline ticket.
Yes, ma'am.
All the airline is going to cost you is a change fee to go somewhere else using that same ticket. Okay. Even though it's non-refundable. It's non-refundable, but it's redeemable for a year, up to a year from the date that you purchased it. You just have to pay the change fee and the difference in fare.
You're going to redirect my flight to a
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so why don't I just fly there and fly back, because I don't have an all-inclusive to
You know
enjoy
what?
my stay.
That's your business.
Okay.
Fly there and fly back if you want to.
Cool.
Whatever.
You want to go with me?
You know what I'm saying? Fly there, walk around the city, look at it, take pictures, say I went to Dubai, you know, send it out on social media, make sure you send me one, tell me here I am.
Absolutely.
You know, if that's what you want to do, that's
Absolutely.
on you.
I'll Facebook you.
You
Cool.
know, that's on you. But all I'm going to require her to do is to reimburse you the cost of changing the ticket if you change the ticket. If you don't change it, she doesn't have to pay your doggone thing. That's what you're going to do.
You're the judge?
No, what you going to do? I already told you what she has to do. Are you going to change the ticket or not?
I'm not going anywhere. I ain't got no money. I got 5 kids to feed.
So then you're going to change. You're
So
not going
I'm gonna
anywhere.
Eat the plane ticket. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat the plane ticket. No, I'm not going to. I spent $1,200, but that's out.
You're going
That's
to eat
fine.
the plane ticket? You're sounding like a stupid person now.
Why? I'm not going to go to
Because
the
you're
destination.
going to waste $1,200. That's why.
Okay, fine. I'll go to the destination and fly back, but I don't have $4,000.
You don't have to go to Dubai. You can go anywhere else in the world.
I got no money for that. I was going to this trip because it was an all-inclusive, and I won something.
You're being a hard head, you're being really stupid.
I don't want to spend a dime outside the plane ticket that I purchased.
Don't spend a dime. Take the $1,200. Judgment for the defendant. You don't owe him anything.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
Very unhappy with the ruling. I will not be doing business with your organization anymore.
I'm sorry we'll be losing you as a donor, but I'm grateful to Judge Mablean.
Coming up.
How you know it's not going to cause that change in the bill?
It shouldn't have been. I admit to my
But
mistake.
how do you know that doesn't affect his bill?
How do I know he's not growing something up in his apartment?
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Doug Everett is suing his landlord Thomas Hinton in the amount of $800. Mr. Everett claims Mr. Hinton was using his electricity, and as a result, his energy bill was higher than usual. Mr. Hinton claims that he was unaware that the outlet was attached to the plaintiff's apartment, and he claims he only used a small lamp. Therefore, he only used a few dollars worth of electricity.
In the matter of Doug Everett versus Thomas Hinton, Mr. Everett, you're suing Mr. Hinton because you said that he had his circuit breaker or some light hooked up to your apartment, causing your electricity bill to run up.
Yes.
But he's the landlord, and it was something that he was using, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so tell me about it.
Okay, I moved in about over a year ago, and a few months ago, it was summer months, and so I didn't really pay much attention to it, but I was microwaving something in the circuit, the power went out. So I go downstairs to check the circuit breaker, and I know I turned the circuit breaker, clicked it a couple times, and I noticed in his workroom that there's a red light that comes on in the workroom. And I'm like, well, why is there a red light coming? And it's my circuit breaker. So
once you flip the circuit breaker?
Okay. Circuit breaker, yeah, and I flip it on, and there's also a red light that comes on in his workroom. So,
which is in the basement of the apartment?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And, so a few months go by, and I go back down there, of course, take a picture of it, and then a few months go by. I bring it to his attention, and we had problems since,
Why you wait a few months?
I'm kind of aloof at times, so, I'm just worried about what I'm microwaving at the time.
Okay. You just trying to get to your food
I'm just trying to get to my food. But I take a picture of it, though, just in case, because I'm that thorough. I like to be thorough when I do things. So I'm like, well, what's this red light, So a couple months go by, and I've noticed my bills, my power bills have increased in usage. Like, and they go from $70 to almost $300. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm paying attention, because it comes to my money, I'm paying attention now. So I'm like, okay, well, so I consult a couple of friends. I'm like, well, there's a red light in the basement. What could this red light be? And one of my friends said it could be a grow light. I'm like, this guy growing weed downstairs? I don't know what's going on downstairs. I was like, what other light is red? A club light? So either he got a club or he got, growing some weed. Either way, I don't know what's going on down there. I bring it to his attention, and he said that he's going to fix the problem. And kind of brushes me under the table. I'm like, what's going on? So I, again, have to bring it up again. So this is the second time, but he takes me down there, and we go into the room, and there's nothing in this room, not even a red light.
Now it's empty.
Then now it's empty.
But did you bring to his attention the fact that your electric bill was high?
Of course.
Okay, so you have any evidence of this? You
Yes,
say you
that's
take
right.
pictures and you're thorough.
Yes. And also, in the evidence too, there's a grow light. I researched grow light because, again, my friends told me that the grow light will increase your usage or your wattage.
Yeah.
And it's about $150 additional every month.
Coming up.
How you know it's not going to cause that change in the bill?
It shouldn't have been. I admit to my
But
mistake.
how do you know that doesn't affect his bill?
How do I know he's not growing something up in his apartment?
You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Doug Everett, who is suing Thomas Hinton for $800.
Okay, so this picture is
The picture of
the red light coming on.
Red light coming off the door. And
Oh, it comes on from the door.
It looks like I'm about to go into a club.
Yeah, it looks like neon lights or something.
Right, I don't know what's going on.
What's going on in your room down there, Mr. Hinton?
I just gotten into black and white photography and processing, film processing, and this is your red light culprit right here. What I did is my power strips, I have a little work area and a bench. Because my power strip was full with chargers and soldering irons and stuff, I figured it was just easier just to drill a hole through the drywall and hook this red light up. But
Okay.
but he's saying that this light bulb for photo processing caused his $200 bill.
What he's saying is that you had something on his bill, on his circuit, that wasn't his, that increased his bill.
Which is why I offered him $50.
You offered him $50.
Yeah.
Did you look at his bill?
What, this is not going to cause that change in the bill, Your Honor.
Why? But why should it be on his bill, period? How you know it's not going to cause that change in the bill?
It shouldn't have been. I admit to my
But
mistake.
how do you know that doesn't affect his bill?
How do I know he's not growing something up in his apartment?
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
But how do you know that didn't affect his bill?
I'm sure it probably did to a very small degree, Your Honor.
But you're the landlord. You have the ability to go to the electric company and ask and have them do this separation so it wouldn't have to be connected to his bill at all. Why couldn't you do that?
It was just an easy way to fix a small problem, which cost him maybe $3, $4 a month.
Okay, well, how you know how much it cost? And you didn't tell him that this is
Because
connected to his bill.
it was a single light bulb.
Your Honor,
I mean, I'm looking...
Your Honor, if I may, a single light bulb is not going to make the entire hallway downstairs glow.
A single light bulb is not going to cause this type of light.
I can do that in Photoshop with this light bulb.
Okay. You can do that and pay this bill, too. Judgment for the plaintiff, $800.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $800.
Look, I know it's your property, but you cannot take my power without my permission. It's a violation.
I respect the judge's decision, but there's no way my red light could have changed your bill that much.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.